Welcome back to another episode of the Street Alpha Podcast. I am your host, Tukes, and we are here in Florida again with another banger episode. So today, if you guys are on a live before, we just dropped off my cylinder head over to Bill over here at Xtreme Cylinder Heads in Florida, and we talked it over, went through everything, and he pretty much gave us the expectations of what to expect for the RB and some of the techniques that he's going to use on the cylinder head to make the power and be reliable as a street car. So make sure you guys check that out. But if you guys don't know who Bill is, he's been doing this for well over what? You said a decade or 2 decades maybe?
Try 40
I don't want to make you feel,
Yeah, 40 years.
40 years.
40 years.
You said 15. Since you were 15, you've been working on machine shops. Yep. Okay. So we're going to get into how you got into this briefly, some of the engine platforms that you work with, some of the things that you do to these cylinder heads to make them work the way they do, and some things that you've experienced in the past, and some of the methods that you use to kind of, fix a lot of the issues that have happened in the past with these platforms. So before we begin, let's give a round of applause for Bill.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We got a live audience here. There's like 2 people watching us right now.
Perfect. That's even better.
So thank you so much for taking the time to do this. This is not normal for me to do a live stream for a podcast, but it just saves me a lot of time editing and so on, because for the past 3 years, it's just been nonstop edit, hours sitting in a chair. So I want to thank you for being patient. We were obviously here setting up for a while, and you were not pushy at all. A lot of people get antsy, so you were super hot. The hospitality was amazing. To you and your staff and your team and your daughter as well. So thank you guys.
You're welcome.
So I don't really know too much about the history of this shop, but every time I speak to somebody in Florida who has either a 2JZ or a RB, did you somehow come up in the conversation because you've been doing this for years, along with TEC as well, another shop, right?
Yep.
So there's some history there as well. But you've been doing this for a while, and you were the go-to guy, and probably still are the go-to guy to send your cylinder head to get the proper work done. So now we'll talk about that too in a second, about what makes a machine shop better than others, or what makes you the best machine shop in the country, because you speak to people sometimes, customers, and everyone always claims that their guy is the best, right? But I want to hear your take on that, because some people may not be happy with the work that they're getting somewhere else, or they have expectations that weren't met in terms of deadlines and so on. And mind you, as we spoke about before, none of this has to do with any of my stuff. This is just pure general information.
100%, I understand.
So not throwing jabs at anybody, of course. So I want to know how you got into this. You said 15. Sure, it's probably a long story from since you were 15, but what made you want to start working on cylinder heads, and how did you gravitate towards working in a machine shop?
I was in high school.
Okay.
And back then you could work half a day and go to school half a day, or vice versa. And back then they had like a billboard, and everybody had their, all the companies around town had their little business cards pinned up on it. You know, there was no computers back then. There was nothing. So I picked a card off it, and it said aircraft apprentice. Called the guy up, and I went to work for him. And he had a small, Lycoming Continental kind of aircraft FAA station. So I started working for him when I was 15, and I just kind of fell in love with machine work and measuring things, that kind of thing. And then he died, and then my mother was working for a gentleman that had an insurance company, and he had a big, huge Duesenberg collection. Duesenberg is a super old fancy car.
You said how do you say
Duesenberg?
An American car, or what is it's like German or something?
German. Yeah.
It sounds German, yeah.
Very expensive car, and if you were like back in the 20s, like 20s, that was like the car to have.
Yeah.
So she sent me to work with this guy, Bruce Alfie, and he was the engine builder. And I went to work for him, and I fell in love with just making stuff. I mean, making arm bearings, that kind of stuff. There's not parts that are available for this kind of stuff. Okay. So we had to make a lot of stuff, and we had to, make do with what the engine had. So fell in love with it again. And then that guy died, the insurance guy. They sold off all of his cars, and Bruce kind of switched to racing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Bruce, he's like a super intelligent guy, very good engine builder. And we started doing racing stuff. Again, fell in love again.
Yeah.
And then I think I worked for Bruce for 8 years or so, and then 8 or 9 years, maybe even more. I don't remember. But my next step was I wanted to open up my own business by the time I was 30. So Bruce had closed his shop down. I tried to buy it. It wasn't the right time. So the guy that was going to buy the equipment said, I will wait for you to get a no on buying it. And then he goes, then I'll buy all the equipment. You come work for me. That's Mike at TEC, at Total Engine Concepts. Yeah.
Okay. Now
and he knew when I got there, I wanted to go ahead and open up before I was 30. So worked there, and Mike helped me through everything. And he was just very gracious. You know what I mean? Just, not holding anybody back, period. That's kind of what you need to do. You have to surround yourself with these kind of people in your life to like make things right.
Right.
That's the way I feel anyways, to get somewhere. So I always concentrate on surrounding myself with quality people. 2 weeks before my 30th birthday, I went to Mike and I said, Mike, he goes, I already know you got your bay. He goes, I already know you got some equipment coming. He goes, just stop working, build up some. He goes, because I'm not going to do the work. He goes, I'm going to send it all to you anyways.
Yeah.
So boom, I was 30 years old, opened up the shop. And it was a struggle, like big time. It was a huge struggle. It's not easy. It's not an easy business at all. People think, oh, it's so easy. Bullshit. It's hard business to do. So we struggled for probably the first 7-8 years, and I was just doing whatever I could.
Yeah.
To make ends meet. And we, like I said, we start during the shop tour. We started in 1,500 square feet.
Yeah.
And then there was always a couple of Porsche customers. And I really enjoyed working on the Porsche stuff. And I think maybe because it wasn't heavy, Okay. And a lot of people couldn't do it because it takes a whole separate set of tools and methods, to not, because they're very fragile cylinder heads. So I had a couple of good customers and was working for Mike. And then we expanded. And then in 2007, we decided, let's go ahead and get our own casting. Let's make a casting because the Porsche industry needed it. Nobody was making them. We did that. We stubbed our toe quite a few times, like I talked to you about. Yeah, 100%. We used the wrong material. We didn't, they weren't cooling very well. Yeah. But, all the clients that I had, they were just so understanding. You know what I mean? They really were. Yeah, 100%. They were just like, come on, Bill, keep going. You keep going. Again, like I said in the shop tour, it's my third casting version.
Yeah.
And I think I got it now. We got a lot of them out there. But this just kept on growing and growing, and then my name became more and more, even with like the Toyota Supras and the RBs and the Subarus. We had a really good customer, P2R Sean.
Yeah.
Yep, super good customer, super good guy. Heck, he even bought a machine from me just recently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So in 2000, and I don't know if I skipped anything, but that's kind of where I'm at. Like in 2023, I decided, I kind of want to go like 90% Porsche. So I didn't fire anyone. I rehomed them. I had a friend of mine that had same equipment. And I said, I'm giving you like a well-mannered, manicured lawn. Here's the fixtures. Here's the tooling. Here's the everything. Just take care of them. 100%. It worked out really well. But Mikey Moon, he was working with me, and he was seeing it walk out the door, and he's like, "Man," he's like, "I could open up my own shop." So he took me to lunch one day, and he asked me. He said, "Would it be okay if I open up my own shop?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely. This way, I can send that work to you." And then he recouped a bunch. He took a bunch of the customers that were still here, and he's super, super talented. I love the guy, and we still work together today, like I said in the shop tour.
Right.
Yeah. So everything worked out, and we've got clients that are, buying 200 sets of heads at a time, of the Porsche heads.
Wow.
We've got really good clients that are doing the Supras and the RBs.
Yeah.
And here we are, it's a good life.
So you mentioned that, it's not easy, right? And I'm sure you meant like when you're starting a machine shop and trying to get business going. What are some of the biggest challenges you face when you first open up a machine shop specifically? Because a lot of the time work is usually handed or passed off to somebody else, or, people have customers and they have repeat customers. And if you go into a business like, hey man, this guy can take care of you, I'm too busy. But in your case, what was some of the challenges you were facing that were like really difficult for you to kind of keep things going?
Not knowing how to run a business. How about that?
Okay.
That's the very first thing. And then messing shit up. Because when you mess it up, you got to repair it. You got to fix it. You got to eat it. So service-based industries, that's a hard industry because you're really relying on everything that you're relying on your equipment, you're relying on your tooling, you're relying on all that stuff to make it happen for you. And if you make like one mistake, you got to fix it. Or you got to pay for it. Usually it's both.
Right. So with machine shops in general, my assumption has always been with machine shops, even like growing up and so on, is that like if something happens, it's kind of on you because it's like a risk you're taking when you're building an engine, right?
100%.
Now, from a customer standpoint, from a machine shop or, a business owner standpoint, how does that work in general? Like when you run into a situation where something fails, or like how does that work in terms of how you would handle it? Not you specifically, but how should it be handled when it comes to machine work?
I think we're a little different here as far as machine work goes. So I've never ducked behind a bush.
Okay.
I always raise my hand. If I mess it up, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make it right. I don't care what it costs. That's just the way it is.
Right.
I'm just not, I can't, you can't push stuff off and say, oh, it's racing,
Okay.
If a valve fails, no, I'm not going to eat that. It's not me, but let's go back to the Porsche stuff.
Yeah.
If the head bolt washers are sinking into the cylinder head because I used the wrong material.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you look at a factory Porsche that's been in service for 35 years already, and this doesn't have that problem, there's no bushes,
Yeah.
It's on me. So I always just try and make it right, period. And to this day, I still have cylinder heads that come in from like 2008 for refresh. And I look at them, I call my customer, I go, well, you just got yourself a brand new set of heads, because I don't want them in rotation. I don't want them out there. I throw them in the garbage. I give them a brand new set. Done. It's over.
Okay.
That's just the way I run my business. The Porsche industry is very small.
Yeah.
And it's very tight.
Right.
And I got a pretty good rep, so I'm gonna do whatever I got to do to keep it.
Now, as far as running a business, you mentioned like you didn't know how to run a business. So aside from that, what were some other things that you faced at that time? Because that's a common thing.
Just limitations. Not being able to do everything in house. You got to send your welding here. You got to send your port work here.
Okay.
Like I didn't have all that equipment. I had just a few pieces of equipment. You
Right.
know, I could do valve jobs, guide work, and hand port. I'm very good at hand porting. I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
But where the office is now, that was like the porting room back in the back in the 90s. Yeah. Or back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd be standing there porting a Supra for 14 hours.
14 hours?
Yeah, 14 hours.
So it takes 14 hours to port any cylinder head or 6 cylinders, you mean?
Let's just talk about Supra or an RB. I mean,
right.
it's for me to do it right with all the measurements and making sure it's right and making sure everything's the same as best as you can make it with a hand, doing it by hand.
Yeah.
It's 14 hours. You get a CNC machine, it cuts it down to like 3.
3 hours.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
And you're doing something else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. CNC is not, you just push the button, it goes. No. You can mess some shit up in the CNC machine. Take it from me, 100%.
Okay.
It's not all about pushing the button. There's a lot into it before you start the machine.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of checking and measuring and making sure that the machine's going to act exactly the way it did on the last job.
Okay.
But once you get that first job, if you got 6 Supra heads in line,
Yeah.
that's where the money's at.
Right.
So
now, is there any skill in, because this is something I was thinking about before, is there any true skill, or do you need talent to operate a CNC machine? Because everybody's port work may be different, or how you do something may be different than somebody else's stuff.
You have to have that mindset.
Okay.
You have to want to run it. If it's just a job, you're going to suck.
Okay.
You're going to suck at programming, you're going to suck at executing, you're going to suck.
Yeah.
It's not going to work for you.
Right.
So the guys that I have, and people ask me, like, I have the best team. I told you that. Like, I have the best team in the world. I mean, if I could tell you some of the things that they've got me out of, and people ask me, they're like, well, I can't find anybody to work. First of all, you got to pay their asses, and you pay them good.
Yeah.
That's the first step. And I don't want anybody that knows anything. I mean, I've got guys that all my guys have never done this before, but they all came from a clean slate. They learned our way. And I mean, I've got from vape shop to cabinet maker. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, 100%. Busboy. Got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just got to find the right people that really want to do it. And they will take off and run with it.
Yeah.
So
as far as like some of, I don't want to really say accolades, but like, do you do mostly, right now it seems like you're doing a lot of street stuff, right? Because obviously these Porsches aren't drag racing, of course, right?
it's mostly road race.
Road racing.
Yeah, road racing.
So with the 2J and the RB stuff, is a lot of that stuff that you were doing back then drag racing, or was it street racing?
Drag racing. We'll do some stuff for the drift cars, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And that's more as of more like the past few years, more so with the drifting.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
but mostly in the very beginning when I started doing the 2JZ stuff, I had Nero.
Yeah.
Shout
out to Nero.
2002 Nero, love Nero. 100%. 2002, he came on board and he flooded my ass with that stuff. I mean, flooded me with 2JZ stuff. Yeah. He helped me make my mark on the 2JZ stuff. If it wasn't for Nero, I probably would have never done any 2JZ stuff.
Yeah.
But, he had the clients, he had the business. And again, in 2023, previous to that, we had become so busy that I couldn't keep up with him. You know what I mean? So he went with Mikey. He's with Moon. Mm-hmm. And I love it.
Well, it's basically, would you say it's the same thing if you were to bring your cylinder head here, or you go to Mike Moon, you'd basically get the same because he came from here, right?
Mike is he's a craftsman, 100%, start to finish.
So Nero basically gave you, and honestly, he did mention that. That's actually how I found out about you, was through Nero. Nero's a stand-up dude, super smart guy.
Oh yeah,
like very smart.
He's spicy.
Yeah, he's spicy, but he's a very smart guy, and he's a caring guy too.
Absolutely.
So huge shout out to Nero. So he was helping you out with a lot of the, I don't want to say business, but technically, it'd be business. But a lot of the stuff that you were maybe developing over the time, trying different things, experimenting, seeing what worked, seeing what didn't, came from that era.
Because he was pushing the envelope.
Right.
And his clients were pushing the envelope. Ekanu was pushing the envelope. Mm-hmm. So it forces machine shops to step up. You got to step up because the shit's not working.
Yeah.
It's only making it 2 passes.
Yeah.
Most guys don't want to bring 10 spare heads to the racetrack,
Yeah.
So, I would say 100% Nero. Yeah. Like if it wasn't for him, I probably would have never really saturated myself in
that market.
Yeah, in that market now.
Now, new also, they were pushing it. That was like all time at the time, pushing it to the limits, right? So what were some of the things that you were experiencing at that time working with them to kind of make sure that, the car was able to get down the track and make the passes it was making? Because I'm sure things are blowing up. I'm sure there were some things that you had to make adjustments to in terms of cylinder head. You have, you mentioned you have like a Uni Seat that you guys do. I'm not sure if it came from that Ekanu era or if it was something that came after.
Man, if I would have had that back then, God bless.
Oh, wow.
It would have been a whole different ball game.
Okay.
I mean, that's the most, besides any kind of, mechanical failure, error in the system, or the injector went bad, that kind of stuff, and you burn up a cylinder.
Yeah.
The exhaust seat sinking, that's the biggest problem. You know, that's
And you
the
were
biggest.
facing that back then also?
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yes, yes, 100%.
And how much power was Ekanu making on some of these passes?
I don't know. You want to ask Nero?
Oh, you didn't know about any numbers or anything like that?
No, I mean, you know, I could throw it out there, but it might be the wrong number, so I throw
Oh,
it out there.
okay. I got you. Well, I'm not sure because we'll talk about that too, but there's different people that are involved in a build, and you never know who knows what, you know. And if you guys are all talking to each other, communicating and saying, "Hey, man, my car's making this car is probably estimated to make about 3,000 horsepower," you kind of have a good marker to say, "All right, well, at 3,000 horsepower, this is when this starts failing." Crazy number.
Well,
but
so
an
most
example.
of the time, the engine builders and the clients, those are the guys. Those are the guys that talk about that. They don't really get on the phone and go, "Hey, Bill, guess what?" You know.
I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not in that little circle, but
Right.
You know, I get the exhaust seats failed. You know, it's coming back to you.
Okay.
You know, build another one, build 3 more. You know, Ekanu wants to bring 5 to the show.
Oh, that was it.
We'd work all the way through the night, all the way through the night to get like all these heads prepped up. Yeah, for him.
So you were building them, or you were just fixing them?
No, we would build them initially, and
Okay.
then they'd come back in like 4 to clip, you know, to be repaired. Yeah, I mean they were pushing it. They were pushing it, you know, and they were learning as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was just a big learning experience for everyone, and they were great for, you know, Nero was great for my business. 100%.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now, when it comes to anything after Nero or that era with Ekanu, are you doing?
I still work with Nero. You know,
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But Mikey primarily, like,
Right.
everything kind of switched to that BMW.
I know.
And I don't like it. I don't want to do it.
Oh, you're not a fan of the
I don't-
B58 stuff?
Yeah, I don't really like it. Mikey likes it. I don't like it. So, and Nero kind of sensed that. So,
What don't you like about it?
It's just too different for me. I just,
Okay.
you know what? Yeah, I like the old 2J.
Okay. Is how different is that platform compared to a 2J though? In terms
Completely different.
is it just
It's-
casting? What is it about
It's
that you
the
don't like?
casting.
Okay.
The problems, everything is, you're starting from square one. You know, you're starting from square one. You know, the 2J, everybody knows the problems already because they've been running them for decades.
Yeah.
You know, the BMW stuff, it's all brand new.
Right.
You know, I don't want to start there again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think you'd have a head start though because of all you've done already? Like you can't implement some of the methods that you're already using with the 2J that can work for the RB? I mean, for the B58?
It's a whole different set
whole
of
different
problems.
set of
Yeah,
problems,
It's a whole
yeah.
different set of problems. Yeah. You know, so
Some more work and so on.
yeah.
Okay. So, so as far as the repairing stuff, right? You were doing that with Ekanu, heavily involved with that, or building the cylinder heads. Are you still doing that kind of stuff, or anything after that? Were you continuing to work with drag racing people?
Oh,
or
yeah, absolutely, yeah. We got a handful of guys that I still do work for, and they send it back for repair work, and I'm dealing with good engine builders on the other side. You know, so it's a good thing.
So you're still involved in
Oh, yeah.
obviously repairing for a lot of the drag racing
I
stuff.
mean,
now.
we came up with the Uni Seat thing. What was it, about a year and a half ago, maybe?
Oh, this is recent.
It's recent, yeah, 100%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Pretty recent, maybe 2 years.
2 years.
So it's recent, yeah.
Okay. And the reason I asked about the horsepower is because earlier you mentioned like around 2,700, you said something like that?
I mean, some people say 27, 28. Some people say 3. I mean, you know,
That's
I don't know.
that's like such an odd number for you to know. Like 2,700 horsepower. This is when the seats fail.
No. I'm not saying they fail then. I mean, they could
No,
fail.
they could fail, but
They
I'm
could
saying
fail
that's
at
the
any
limit.
point.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
100%. But, you know, most of the guys that are pushing the envelope, that's the problem that they're having.
Okay. So what was the process for coming up with this idea for that to work? Because it seems like it literally looks like a brass knuckle. So,
It does. So, you know, there's not that much material like we talked about. There's not that much material between the two exhaust seats.
Okay.
There's a lot of heat there, though. You know, even if you put copper seats in there, it's still it helps, but it doesn't remedy the issue. Nor does the Uni Seat. I mean, eventually you're gonna have to touch that up too. It's not like a fix all, you're done.
Right.
But if you're getting like 4 passes out of your head, now you're gonna get 30
Yeah.
by investing in that.
Okay.
But what happens is the seats in the middle of where they're closest in the chamber, they sink down. It pushes the aluminum mount from underneath the seat. Like you can actually, because we blend all of our seats before they go. We do the CNC. We put the valve job in there, and we hand blend all the seats. So when we come back and there's lips in the middle, we know that they're falling down. And you can see the black marks, because the valves are leaking right there.
Right.
So we went through probably 3 renditions of it.
Okay.
And we settled in on the latest one that you saw. One. Yeah. We had one that didn't work so well, and we ate crow on that. But again, we make it right. You got to make it right. So now it works good. It solves a lot of issues. It's expensive to do, but you only do it once.
Yeah.
You only do it once. So
the thing, then this is only at what horsepower? This is what, 2,000 horsepower we're talking about?
I mean,
roughly. Like who needs a Uni Seat?
I would say the guys that are pushing the envelope.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The White Rice. The Titan guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, the guys are the leaders.
Right.
Okay.
So now if a customer came in here and they're building a street car, let's say for like myself, and I said, hey man, I want that on my cylinder head. Would you do it? Or
absolutely.
Okay. Just because I'm telling you.
I mean, I would do it if it warranted doing it. If you came into me and said, I'm building a street car and I'm going to make 600, it's a grocery getter. No, don't spend the money. Don't do it.
Okay.
I'm not looking to make work for myself, nor am I looking to make people spend money they don't have to make.
Right.
It just doesn't work.
Okay. So the reason why I'm asking this question is because of expectations when people go into shops. And this is one of the things that I've learned for myself going into this and any future build as well, is that like you don't have to overbuild your car. And that's what I did, So my approach is much different. As I said before, 700, 800 horsepower, especially in a rear wheel drive car in the street, I think is like, you'll have a lot of fun, right? Depending on the weight of the car. But my car is probably like 3,400 pounds, so not too heavy. So what are some of the things that somebody coming into this space, or they want to build their first project, that they should look out for, or not even look out for, but things that you would recommend? Let's say if they're building a 2JZ, you mentioned earlier, like people were saying that copper seats, the material, it's soft and so on. Is this something you recommend for somebody like that, a street car making 700-800 horsepower, or what are some of the things that you would suggest?
If they're gonna like take it to the track or beat the balls off it, period. I mean, I would suggest, at least a copper seat on the exhaust.
At least
a copper
if
seat
you're taking it to the track, or does it matter?
Take it to the track, or you're gonna do it. Like you're gonna just turn up the wick and just see what happens, kind of thing. Yeah, put a copper seat in it.
Okay.
If not, no, I wouldn't suggest it. I think that everyone that steps into this world and says, I'm gonna build a 2JZ, you better have a good support system. People that have done it before. Yeah. You don't want to be the first guy, That's how you lose your ass. Okay. That's how you end up with a $50,000 project that you're selling for 18. Yeah. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. That's true. That's true.
Surround yourself with a good support group. That's super important. Yeah.
I find that a lot on the RB side in America, a lot of people are trying to go against what has already been proven in Australia. So everyone, like, not everyone, a lot of people here with the RB stuff, I feel like they want to prove a point and say, I'm the first one to do this in America. And it's like, that's already been proven like 15, 20 years ago in Australia. So why does it matter? Maybe we should kind of pivot from that and just, put our ego aside and just go with whatever's working, right? Like you just said with the 2J, you need a support system, right? Don't try to be the first to do something because it's already been done, then you're trying to like reinvent the wheel and it's like, you don't really have to, right?
100%.
So
I agree.
As far as just the valve seats alone, anything else as far as a street car that you should, that you would be okay with, I would say. Not what you should do, but that you'd be okay with.
I mean, most of the street car stuff, depending on the lift on the cams, that kind of stuff. I mean,
okay.
I don't really do a whole lot of stuff where we're reusing like the stock valves and the stock springs, that kind of stuff.
So you don't do that stuff.
I mean, nobody comes to me for it. How about that?
Got you. Okay.
That's fair, yeah. It's a hard head to find at this point.
The 2J?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the new ones, but they're all right. But like the older ones they're better.
What is it with the new ones? Is it the material or
there's cracking problems in the exhaust port and that kind of stuff. So we've had to make adjustments with our CNC work on the exhaust port side.
Okay.
To not go so big or not raise the roof so much. And then we give it back to the customer and they go, it ran no different. So we know we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now it won't crack. And it'll last long.
And they won't crack. And we also stepped up to doing the coating, the coating of the exhaust port, like we talked about with yours. Let's get rid of the heat. That's the enemy. And the exhaust it just generates so much heat, especially with the turbo. But as far as like if somebody was coming in with a normal project, I like to put at least a good conventional seat on the exhaust.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be copper. Only because from the factory, the valve seats on the exhaust they're pretty shallow. You know what I mean? There's not much in the aluminum.
Yeah.
So I like to get a little bit deeper seat and not so much wider.
Right.
But let's just say they were 33 millimeters from the factory. I like to go to 34 and then go, 2 millimeters deeper.
Okay.
Just so there's more in the head and there's more options for the heat to transfer through the seat in the aluminum.
Okay. So now, if somebody's coming here for a street car application, right? And obviously you said there's certain things that you do and certain things you don't. You're not going to use stock valves and so on. As far as valves and springs, right? What do you recommend for that? What are some things that you could look at? Because some people spec the stuff out, or do they come here and say, hey, I want to make this much power. What do you recommend? How does that work?
There's so many good manufacturers out there now. You know what I mean? So I use them all.
Okay.
I use them all. Ferrea, BC, GSC. I mean, like Kelford. Mm-hmm. I use them all. So it just depends on the customer, the project.
Yeah.
And whose cams he's using. That kind of thing. So a lot of guys come, they already have their camshafts from BC. Okay. And they already have their springs and everything. I'm good with it. SuperTech, same thing. Like some people come, they have the SuperTech stuff. Some people come, like you have your Kelford stuff and your Ferrea stuff. So I'm not really in the parts business. And people ask me, what, I've already got all this stuff. I'm like, perfect, let's use it.
Okay.
It's gotcha. It's all good stuff, know. So
is there anything? Oh, so you don't really, when it comes to certain parts, like obviously the specs of them, right?
Yeah.
So what I guess I meant to ask is, when you're looking at springs or if you're looking at certain camshafts, what are some of the things that you should be looking at if you're running a street car? Because some of this stuff is designed for 2,000 horsepower and it doesn't really need to be on your car if you're running a street car. So do you, like, in terms of recommendations, that's what I meant. Not really like
I go with the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Just,
cool.
Buy a slightly upgraded camshaft. Get a good spring kit that goes with that camshaft. Don't. You don't want to put a 12.5 millimeter camshaft in something that's going on the street. You want to be back in the 9.8, 10.2, 10.2 millimeter. Get a smaller cam, and get a single spring. Buy the Shimless Toyota buckets. They're fantastic. You know? Most cams don't really work with the factory bucket that comes in a Toyota 2JZ head.
Right.
Because it's got the shim over.
Right.
And the camshaft will run off of that shim. You know what I mean? It'll exceed the diameter of that shim. Mm-hmm. You go to a shimless bucket, it gives you, I think, like another 1.2 millimeters per side in contact with for the cam. So just little things like that.
Do you
without spending a ton of money?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you obviously you work with a lot, but how do you feel about like shim under buckets? Like, is that something that you feel like you can?
I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Okay. As far as RPM and all that stuff, because there's a lot of things that I've heard in the past about running that, popping shims and so on. And
they pop shims because it's floating. The valves are floating. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if the spring was in control and the valve train is in control, there's no reason it should spit a shim. If you miss a shift, and over rev it, you might spit a shim. It's not the shim under bucket's problem, but you can eliminate it by going shimless. I always go shimless. I don't use the shim under buckets anymore.
Okay. Now, you said over revving. Is that over revving past the limitations of the valve train, or? For
sure.
Okay. Because you can set your RPM lower than what the the limit is, right? So if you have a valve train that's set for, maybe the cams are good for, springs are good for like 11,000 RPM or whatever, and you're only revving to like 9,000 and you over rev, can you still valve float? Okay,
Absolutely.
so what would cause that?
I mean, there's a lot that could cause it. I mean, the valve springs themselves, they're only capable of doing what they can do.
Okay.
So, and they're designed to work in an RPM range. Mm-hmm. And if you exceed that RPM range, you know, they go into like a surge, if you want to call it, or they lose their mind, really, and they don't know what to do. Or the spring separates off the bottom of the cylinder head. Like things happen, you know, when the valve's open and it's in a float situation, sometimes the bottom of the valve spring will come off of the spring pad because it doesn't really know it's supposed to go ahead and you know, close the valve.
Yeah.
So the valve float is not a good situation.
Now, what about it's kind of a weird question, but a lot of these I believe some of these motorcycles they rev really high. So I'm not sure if this is a common thing where you look at other platforms or different what people are doing. It is, because there's things that, you know, like let's say fire rings, like diesel cars, diesel trucks, they run fire ring setups. And some of that stuff is implemented into other platforms as well, right?
Yep.
So when it comes to bikes, those bikes rev to, you know, a crazy amount of RPM. Is there anything that can be learned from that can be implemented onto this side of things in terms of a car?
I mean, it's the weight of the valve train.
Okay.
It's the weight of the valve train. You're talking about a lot smaller stuff.
Right.
Smaller valves. Most of the time, they're all titanium because they're not running boost.
True.
You know, so they can buzz those things. Do I know a whole lot about that?
Right. No, of course.
I don't. But
yeah,
I do know that most definitely it's the weight of the valve train.
Okay.
You know?
Just curious if you ever looked into it, because sometimes some people, you know, kind of look at other platforms or other things that are happening and wonder like, oh, why are these bikes, how do they do that, you know?
I mean, when we first started doing the 2JZ stuff, you know, I mean, like the seat pressure was, you know, 75 pounds. Ooh, 75 pounds is, you know, it's like 25 pounds more than the factory spring, you know? Oh, yeah. Wow, you know? I mean, some of these guys are running 150 pounds on the seat.
Well, these guys are making big power, no?
I'm just saying, like, that's how it's progressed. And it was the same thing with the Porsche world, you know? I mean, way back when, they weren't making all that power. And as I designed the very first casting, as people were making more and more power, that's when my first casting showed its, like, ugly side, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so...
Interesting. Yeah. We'll get into the Porsche stuff in a second, because I'm not really a Porsche guy, but... I find it very interesting how they work, and especially with the air-cooled stuff, how you're working with them. I mean, honestly, Porsches are expensive, right? Okay.
I think so.
That looks expensive.
Too expensive for me.
Yeah. So I'm not saying I don't look at them because they're too expensive. It's just that there's so many models, and, you know, a lot of years. So we'll get into that in a second. But what I want to know is, when it comes to the 2JZ, is there anything at this point in 2026 that you feel can be improved with it? It's already been proven, but is there anything where you feel that, you know, maybe you can make some changes to the work you're doing, or some things that is out of our reach right now that we need more machining technology or anything like that?
I mean, there's guys that are making a billet head, right?
Okay.
So I think it's great for racing. But the street guys can't utilize that head because there's no water in it.
Okay.
I think that if somebody came up with I think it should be a 4-piece head. That's what I think.
4-piece cylinder head?
4-piece head.
Why do you feel that?
Because then you can separate the deck from the main part of the head.
Okay.
Part it, machine your water passages, put it back together. And then if the deck goes bad, you can replace the deck. Or if the cam follower, like a lot of people like exploded cam follower, BMWs have removable, the whole tray comes off. You just get another one, put it back on there. You don't have to buy a whole new head. And to fix a cam follower bore, it's zero fun. Like zero fun. They're hard to weld. They're hard to sleeve. There's not enough material there. It's just a pain in the ass all the way around.
Now, this is only on the billet side of things you're talking about, or you're talking about in general? Because obviously,
nobody, Toyota's not going to design anything more.
Right.
It's just not happening for them, you know. But there is a few good, good billet heads that are out there, and I think they're from Australia. I think
Yeah, Bullet makes
think-
one.
yeah.
Bullet makes a
Yeah.
Bullet, and then there's a couple of other companies that are experimenting as well.
Yeah,
or
super-
have already.
Super nice
actually,
stuff. Yeah.
I don't really know too much about streetcar applications, but from what I was told when I went to Australia, they told me that you don't really need a billet head unless you're making like 3,000 horsepower or something like that.
Yeah.
So and the cast cylinder head is fine because they all run. Those 2,000 horsepower GTRs are all running cast heads.
I'm here to tell you, there's nothing wrong. If you're under 2,000, there's nothing wrong with the factory casting.
Yeah.
Like you're good.
I said 3,000. It might be 2,000, but there's very few people that will actually need a billet cylinder head in terms of streetcar use, like you said.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you
there's
don't-
no water.
Right.
It's not going to cool.
Now,
It's designed to run for 6 seconds or 5 seconds or whatever, and then it's done.
yeah. So as far as the RB side of things, from your experience working with the two platforms, what are some areas where you feel that RB can improve in terms of your machine work or maybe even just the casting? Because the 2JZ, I never heard that before. That was pretty interesting.
See, I don't know enough about the major problems with the RB stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like if they crack, like I haven't run across one that's broken, like and cracked in the exhaust port or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good design. You know, I think the combustion chamber needs a little bit of work, but overall, I think it's a pretty good design.
Okay. Now, as far as, because you guys test these cylinder heads, right? On a bench, right? So have you experimented with any of that stuff in terms of 2JZ, RB?
Plenty of 2JZ. I have not had an RB on the
Not RB
on the flow bench yet. No.
Okay. Now, how do those numbers translate to how much power you can actually make?
They don't.
Okay.
They don't really. You know, the dyno is what dictates that, and then the racetrack dictates it. You
Okay.
know, I could sit here and flow bench race all day long, and it doesn't make a damn bit of difference.
Yeah.
You know, all I can do is say I made improvements on the cylinder head. You know, I'm not going to go, oh, it's just going to get you 20 horsepower. That's bullshit.
Okay.
It doesn't happen that way.
So what is the purpose of it then if you're not gonna if it's not for like it's not really gonna be gauging horsepower, but if you test the cylinder head to see how it flows, what's the benefit of doing that in your
Well,
in
so
your
there's
side?
a certain amount of CFM that the engine's going to demand. So if somebody says, "Oh, I'm building this. I need this much CFM." You know, can you get there from here? We give it a try. You know, there's mathematical equations that go into it, and you know, if somebody needs 300 CFM, you know, and
I just wonder why they would need what would be the reason that they would need.
Because the engine, the engine's going to demand what it demands. So for
Okay.
volumetric efficiency purposes, you know, you have
I
to do some math.
Who would I be able to talk to about that? Like, is that like a
good
tuner
engine-
thing or
a
the engine
really
builder?
good engine builder? Yeah.
Okay.
Really good engine builder.
Because there's levels to it where it's like there's people who have data and there's people who are just putting it together and then you know they're working on stuff based off of what comes back, what doesn't. But
Yep.
then as far as data, that's like a whole different level of
It
things.
is. Yeah, I'm not the guy. I'm the flow bench guy in the background. You know,
Yeah.
like hey, it flows that much air kind of thing. But
Okay.
you know how all that equates. It's not me.
Cool. Well, I mean,
It's out of my school. is
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it
no,
is,
of course. I didn't expect you to know, but I'm
No.
just curious because I'm thinking like, well, who would it be, the tuner or the engine builder that would know that kind of stuff?
Engine builder.
Engine builder. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as far as RB and 2JZ go, it seems like we're pretty much at a point where things are pretty much figured out, and at this point, it's just very, very minor changes to get to.
I
you know,
like I
these record-breaking
suggested to you, good machine work, good parts, call it.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
That's going to be my approach with everything, based off of my previous experience.
Yeah.
Not previous experience, but like with my car, just overbuilding. Like I said before, just keep
Yep.
it simple. You know, you don't need 2,000 horsepower on the street. It's cool to say you're doing it, but if you want to have fun and have your car last, it's probably just better to keep it simple and go with the cam
Yep.
that's going to be good for 1,000. So as far as the Porsche stuff, right? You said you converted over fully in 2023, I think it was
Yeah. 90%.
90%. Now, do you know a ton about Porsches, or is that something that like you just started getting in and you started working with them, or are you a Porsche guy? Like, do you like Porsche cars and so on?
I love Porsche cars.
Okay.
Do I own one? No. I'm more of a truck guy. But I love the fact that you can spot a Porsche anywhere.
Yeah.
Like if you did like, I think I said it in one of the Rottler videos when they came in here and did like a little cast.
Yeah.
If you fly over, and I'm quoting one of my clients on this one, he said, if you fly over a football field full of exotic cars, he goes, you can pick out every single Porsche, just like that. It's just a very unique car, and it's a unique family of people that own them, and they love them like I've never seen anyone love a car before. Like they love these cars, and I love working with people like that, and like I had mentioned, like the engine builders that I work with and the teams that I work with, a lot of my guys have in-house, engine builders, and they take care of, 10 cars. You got a bunch of money and you want to go racing, and you give them the car, you have them build the car, and it's called an arrive and drive. You show up and you get your suit on, and you go get some wine and cheese afterwards, and have a good time. It's just an enjoyment that I love, and after I got the cylinder head under control, the casting, there's a lot of money in it. There really is.
Yeah.
And these guys, they'll spend the money. So, and I enjoy working with people like that.
Yeah.
I want to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you, because what
I do love the car.
Yeah.
I love the car. I'd love to race one. I'd love to own one.
Yeah.
A little bit out of my league on that one, but, eventually maybe so, hopefully.
Okay. Because you have to kind of know about the platforms, right? Like, or is that not a thing? Because I'm trying to figure out the difference between, okay, you're a machinist, right? You have a machine shop.
Mm-hmm.
Something comes in, and you're willing to work with it. You may not even know what it is, but you've already worked with something similar to it. And you're like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And then you keep working on it, and then you keep getting different variety, different, cylinder heads in. And then it becomes a thing where it's like, okay, you start to understand what you're working with, but are you really like heavily involved in that platform outside of just working with them? You know what I mean? Because you seem to know about Porsches and what, obviously what they're coming out of, but what about outside of that?
So I'm not the guy like at a Porsche car show that's going to be able to like look at that car and go, in 1978, this thing ran in Le Mans.
Yeah.
No. Do I have clients like that? Hell yes, I do. I mean, I got clients that know that in a certain year they tried an exhaust system, and he's down on the ground at a car show going, yep, there it is right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I got those kind of guys. That's not me now.
Okay.
But we kind of just, when you buy a cylinder, set of heads from here, or whether you bring me a set of heads or send me a set of heads, to race prep them or whatever, or racetrack street prep them, we have a lot of discussion.
Okay. So, in the earlier designs, because you said you have a casting that you started to make, right? Mm-hmm. What was the reason for that even happening? Like, why did you start to make your own casting as opposed to what was already there?
The limitations of the ports.
Okay.
And the fact that the heads would come in and they're just so cobbled up. You know what I mean? Because they're like from 1968, and 17 people worked on them since 1968. And you're just like, I got to fix all this shit.
Yeah.
So me and my brother were like, we should just build our own, and it worked out. I mean, it worked out really good. We started with the 2-liter because back in the day, the 2-liter was like the hot thing for the road racing.
Okay.
They had the Club Sport Challenge, the Historic Racing Series, SSR, and it was just exploding. And then the limitation on the ports were a problem. I'm making power with CFM, but I'm kind of running out of material in the factory casting to keep that shape. And then I want to build another shape. Can't do it with the factory head. There's just not enough material there. So that was one of the main reasons.
And then you can't even because you said you repair a lot of the, like on the 2J stuff, you repair a lot of that stuff. And on the Porsche stuff, is that something that you can't really do?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's just a pain in the nuts. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah.
So when it comes to making it's weird because there's like 6 different heads, right? That go onto this, onto an engine.
6 are the same.
6 the same, but like they're separate, right? Each
100%. Yep.
So it's like
it's a Boxster motor. So if you look at like a Lycoming engine on a airboat, it's got six different. But this, on an airplane, the cylinders and the cylinder head, they're one piece.
Right. And then there's like a barrel it attaches to, basically. So it's completely different from like a 2J or RV, right? So in terms of the cylinder heads, what were some of the things that you were looking at to make improvements as far as power and so on? Because this is for you just had road racing, right? You said it was road racing.
A lot of road racing,
right. So what were some of the things that you were trying to do back then before you started to switch over to the casting that you made?
We were trying to dominate a class, which would have been the 2-liter class.
Okay.
And we had 3 or 4 teams that were really they were competing hard.
Yeah.
And we were running out of options because, like I said, we're breaking through the walls of the intake port. The heads were cracking, because they just kept making more and more and more power.
But back then, what year was this?
Maybe like 2001,
okay.
2, 3.
So you mentioned earlier that you were doing a lot of pocket porting, right, by hand. This
a
is
lot
not
of hand porting. Yeah, this was all being done by hand.
Literally this standing all by hand.
Yeah, standing in there.
So so that's what I was trying to get to. So what's the difference in time working with that as opposed to like a 6-cylinder 2J or something like that? To port one of those to port those heads.
On a factory head, it's about the same.
Same time.
Yeah, it's about the same. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you know, like, what was a good marker for you to know that you were actually making improvements by porting with hand?
Well, I'd be porting by hand, and then I'd go to the flow bench, and then you're flowing each and every single one of them. Yeah. Then you're going back in there. I mean, you got to measure everything as you're hand porting. I mean, hand porting is an art. It's a lost art. Yeah. But it's got to start somewhere. It's got to start somewhere. I mean, nowadays, I think you can like design all your ports on. Well, I know you can. On a computer and do it. We're not at that point. So when we make a change, it goes back to the old school stuff. We go to the grinding room, and then we go to the flow bench, and then we give them to the customer, and then of course we digitize so we can replicate.
Back then?
No.
Oh, okay. I was saying now. Yeah. Okay.
Back then, man.
I'm just trying to get a...
Yeah, there's no money in hand porting anymore. No.
Yeah, it's done. Those days are done.
And we switched. I want to say we switched from hand porting. There used to be a company in the Carolinas. It's not there anymore. It's called Weldtech. So Weldtech they were the pioneer of CNC. Like, they were the very first ones to do this. Yeah. And guy's name was Kenny Weld. He's since passed, but we would hand port something, just one head, hand port it, go to the flow bench, work it for a couple of weeks. Then we send it to them. They digitize it. And then we would just send them the sets of heads up there, let them cut them. So they had 10 different programs for me.
Okay.
And then eventually, shipping them back and forth. Plus we were so busy here. CNC in 2013.
Okay. And then you were one of the earlier machine shops that had this, or no?
Oh, I wouldn't say I was the early one, no.
Okay.
I'd say I was probably late.
What inspired you to buy that? Was there another shop that you saw that had that, or?
Just the accuracy, and I was tired of hand porting.
Well, I
was tired of shipping stuff back and forth.
Right. No, but I'm saying, was there anybody that you, how did you hear about it, or somebody said, hey, I just picked up this machine and, it's working wonders for me, so maybe you should, I
think I've seen it on TV or something.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody mentioned it or seen it on TV, but, somebody said there's a way better way to do this.
Yeah.
And it was just up and coming. CNC port work was just kind of coming to a rise back then.
That's what I mean. So I'm just asking,
not in 2013. I'm just talking about back in the early 2000s.
Right. So I'm asking that too because you do a lot of machines. You have a lot of machines here that are specific to certain things, and I'm sure, like you said earlier, you have other companies that get their stuff sent here because you have certain machines. So I wasn't sure if that was something that you were the first to do when it comes to cylinder heads.
Nah.
Okay. So now, as far as the casting, what is this casting made out of in terms of material?
It's made out of Rolls-Royce proprietary material that Rolls-Royce came up with. It's called RR350. It's a 350 alloy, but its properties are really designed for strength and heat dissipation.
Okay.
To get rid of the heat, you know.
And that was a choice that you obviously made to go with, or?
Well, you know, you pick enough of the wrong aluminum, you're going to find the right one. And Porsche gave me the idea. You know, they made all of their turbo stuff out of the RR350, and it's stamped on the castings. 100% stamped on the castings. So I broke a fin off, and I sent it to my casting guy. I go, this is what I want. And he goes, well, that's the Rolls-Royce material. He goes, but it's expensive. It's almost double.
Wow.
Yeah, it's expensive, but it's worth it.
How hard is it to create a cast of like a cylinder head? Like if somebody off the street just do this, or because a lot of people now.
Me give it a hell of a whirl. Right. I didn't have that good of a time with it.
Okay.
And in the grand scheme of things, to design that little Porsche head, it really ain't shit compared to like designing like a 2JZ head or something that has water passages.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy.
So you're saying this is a much more simpler thing to do than
100%. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
because of the water
design
jackets?
something that's overhead cam and, you know, has water passages, and, you know, you can put as much water passages in there as you want.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned before, I made the mistake of not really understanding the whole airflow around an air-cooled head when I did my first one. I just figured if it had cooling fins, it's going to cool off. Well, I was wrong. Same thing with water passages. You know, if you don't have the right flow through there, you're going to make a mistake. It's kind of like trying to build a river and you don't really know where it's going. It's not just because the water's there. It's how the water flows, where it flows, how fast it flows, and how much it flows.
Interesting. That's true.
And you could end up with you could design all the water passages you want. And you can end up with an air pocket in one of them or something where it just doesn't go.
Right.
In the same boat as I was when I first did mine. So yeah, I'm not really interested in doing that. You know what I mean? I've kind of found my niche market, and I have a good life with it, so I'm good.
Now, when it comes to getting the actual scans for these cylinder heads or anything you're doing, wouldn't you just take I'm just thinking very simple stuff, right? So wouldn't you just take what's there and just make it larger or make some type of adjustment? Like, you're not making major changes, right, to this stuff? And if you wanted to improve the quality.
My very first one, no, I didn't make a whole bunch of changes.
Okay.
And then I realized that was a bad idea.
Okay. And now you're three revisions, which honestly is not bad.
3 revisions later, you know, that's where you're at. I mean, it's all about just learning, and, you know, we stepped into an area that we really didn't know about.
Yeah.
You know, as far as design work and that kind of stuff. And we had somebody else designing it. This last one, it was designed in-house. You know, we designed it in-house. The last 2 were designed in-house.
Yeah.
You
and
know?
how much in terms of cost for these, right? Air-cooled or water-cooled, the difference between the 2 prices in terms of building a Porsche? Because Porsches are obviously going to be more money, but
you know,
is there a big dramatic difference in price between building an air-cooled cylinder head over a water-cooled one?
As far as like the design work goes?
Yeah, because you make
think
these custom, so.
I would think that it's much more expensive to design a water-cooled.
Okay. Well, I'm not designing.
Properly.
To build one. I'm sorry.
Oh, to build one?
My mistake. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a tough question, because, you know, the Porsche market is completely different, you know, as far as pricing goes and all that kind of stuff. When it comes to, you know, doing that kind of, you know, the Toyota market or the RB market. Again, most of the stuff I'm dealing with is the drag race stuff.
Yeah.
It's not cheap here. I'm probably one of the most expensive guys if you send it here.
Because of the casting, or?
No, I mean for the RB stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
RB and Toyota stuff. Yeah, 100%. Why? Because I want to do it right, and I want to do it my way. And if you don't want to do it my way, then, you know, I don't need my reputation being scarred because somebody doesn't want to do it right. You know, buy once, cry once. That's my deal. You know, I'll make it right. You know what I mean? But just spend the money in the beginning. You know, and I tell some of the Porsche guys, I go, They send me a set of factory heads. We want to race prep them. I tell them the price. I go, well, listen, at the end of the day, if you don't make the power because this is a proven package, it's because you didn't spend the money to do it. If you let me do it my way and you don't make the power, you cannot look at the heads. Take them out of the equation, look at your cams, look at your time, look what anywhere else. But you can't look at the heads because I've already got 100 people that are making the power with these things that, you know, that you're not. So
yeah. So that's like your portfolio in a sense, right? Like the work I've done already. These cars are all making.
We got a good rap, you know, and we got a good rap. I don't really have anybody out there. I don't think I have anybody out there that's like pissed off at me or because I did them wrong or something like that. I just don't. I don't operate like that.
So out of all the Porsche air-cooled cylinder heads that you've worked with, which one would you say is like the worst in terms of quality?
The worst in quality?
Like the most difficult to deal with or to build.
I would say
together.
The old ones.
Okay.
The really old ones. The old 2 liters, the old 356s. It's been around a long time, you know. Some people throughout the years, even with the later model stuff, because they really don't know what they're doing when they're rebuilding one. So you shouldn't bring a set of Porsche heads to a guy that specializes in small block Chevrolet. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I got you.
They're two different animals. You know, the Porsche stuff is a lot more. It's delicate. You know, so a lot of people think they can do it. Then they make my job harder because then I got to fix what they didn't do right. So, but the earlier stuff, the harder. You know, and most of that kind of stuff now it comes to me for restoration. Like the guy's rebuilding the car from the frame up, he's rebuilding the motor, and he wants these things restored. So price is not an option for him. You know, price, it's not. Yeah, he's not looking at it like that. It's nickels and dimes compared to what he's spending on the rest of the car.
Right.
You know, if I say it's $5,000 or it's $7,000, he's not coming back either way and going, oh, I don't want to spend that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it work both ways though? So the later stuff is the better stuff to work with, or no?
Yeah. I mean, I would say yeah.
Okay.
I would say yeah. The later stuff now is, you know, at some point, Porsche started putting a ceramic lining in their exhaust port. It's fantastic. I can't figure out how they get it in there. I can't figure out, you know, you can't get it out of there.
Yeah.
But I want to say it's probably 3 millimeters thick. I mean, it looks like they put it in there with their thumb, literally, and just pasted it around there. It's not how they did it, but I'm just telling you, it's the way it looks. But that is starting to fail in the later model heads, and it's cracking, it's chipping. If you got a turbo, that's not good. You know, to have a nice chunk going through your exhaust and then through the turbo, that kind of thing. So, has it been good for me lately? Yeah, because that part of the cylinder head is failing on those, on that, that design of the head.
Right.
So people don't really have an option but to buy some new ones.
Buy some new ones, yeah.
You know, so.
And how much is the cost on these? I think I mentioned it earlier, but how much does it cost for you? Like if I had one of these, if I had Porsche cylinder heads and I wanted to get them built, how much would that cost roughly?
I'd tell you right off the bat, if you want to race prep them, like race prep them, I mean, you're going to spend $8,000.
$8,000? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you mentioned 18,000 earlier.
8 to 9. Well, that's for a new set.
Ah, okay. So race prepping what you already have.
Yeah, if you brought me something and said you need to make these as best you possibly can.
Yeah.
Twin plug and take care of all the exhaust studs and all the port work and, put inserts and just everything completely all new. You're going to spend $8 or $9 grand.
Okay. And then as far as with your casting and so on, is there
upwards of 20?
Okay. So,
and they're built your way. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't have a whole bunch of stuff on the shelf.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask.
I don't have anything on the shelf. I mean, I have stuff that's partially done. Mm-hmm. That I can make it into whatever you want, but we got to have a talk.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the engine, the build, and the manifolds, and the exhaust, and all that stuff.
What is it about this community that is keeping you busy, though? Like, where are these people? Like, where are these people coming from in terms of most of your business? Are they overseas or?
They're everywhere.
Okay.
They're everywhere. I've got one Porsche customer in this county, and they take care of probably 15, 20 cars. And they were probably one of my original 100% OG customers that I got in 2001. But the rest of it is all over the country, all over the world, New Zealand, Australia, Taiwan, some stuff in China, Lithuania. I mean, these guys are everywhere. They're everywhere.
Interesting. It's crazy.
It's a huge, huge market.
It's wild.
It is wild.
I that's the last thing, or last brand I would think that would be keeping you this busy in terms of like cars. You know, it's like you would think that there's only a select few people who have money to spend on that, but there's a lot of people making some money.
There's a lot of people with money.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people with money,
and they love these cars. You know? And there's companies that are doing I wouldn't say replicas, but they're, you know, there's a company out there that builds the whole. There are couple companies that build all the panels, everything from carbon fiber.
Yeah,
and it's new everything. It's just carbon fiber, new frame. It's a ground up replica restoration type thing. It still retains the frame, you know. So it is a Porsche car.
Yeah,
but it's, you know, it's brand new. Yeah, it's brand new. There's nothing in it that's not new.
That's crazy.
It is.
Yeah. I was surprised because I've heard this story from, you know, from TEC, not from them, but like how things, you know, came about, Moon and so on. And then Moon was actually telling me that, you know, you're heavily involved in the Porsche stuff. So when he said that to me, I'm like, damn, like I thought it was like Porsche, the actual company Porsche was sending you work or something like that, because I'm like, that's the only way that somebody would be busy. But now that you're telling me this, I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy, because you would
see, they still do make Porsche still makes some of the old parts 100%. They did not make the heads.
Okay, so they don't make the cylinder heads.
They don't make the cylinder heads. You can still buy factory Porsche cases and cranks and rods and piston, all that kind of stuff, but they don't make the cylinder heads
for all years.
They don't make any of them.
Wow.
They do the water cooled stuff. They moved on to the water cooled.
Yeah.
You know.
Are you worried about somebody maybe taking your casting and doing something with it?
No.
No.
I mean, there's a few companies that are making them out of billet.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're really nice stuff. Super nice stuff. I'm a casting guy.
Is there any difference in terms of heat? Because this is a big thing with these, keeping the heat out of the engine and so on. So, like,
it depends on who you talk to. I mean, I feel that a casting, you know, cools better than a piece of billet. But they have their market. I have my market, and we're all friends. Honestly, we're all friends. I mean, I know these guys.
Yeah.
You know, and I call these guys and we talk about things, you know. We put our stuff side by side at trade shows, you know.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, that's just the way it is, you know. There's plenty of lunch to go around.
Yeah, I feel like it's
lunch to go around. Yeah,
a lot
100%.
of competition in this space, the automotive space.
You know, people go, "Oh, I was going to buy so and so's heads, but you know what makes yours better?" I don't know. Do some research. I'm not going to badmouth the guy. What the hell, dude? He's got his thing. I got mine.
Yeah. No, it's a super competitive space, and you seem to be very like well grounded, and you know, you don't seem to want to be getting involved in any of the drama or anything like that, which is good.
There's really none.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Not in the Porsche world.
No, I mean car world in general.
Car world.
General.
Yeah, I'm not a drama guy.
Yeah,
I don't talk shit.
It's not really worth it. The stress and the stress and the
I
drama.
love everybody.
Yeah,
I do.
So over the years, right, since you've been doing this for so long, right? What are some of your favorite platforms to work on? Like, or what is your favorite platform to work on? I'm not sure if you worked outside of Porsches, 2Js, and RBs, if you've done anything outside of that, or if you only work with those.
And Porsche is my favorite.
Okay.
Then comes 2J. Then comes RB.
Have you done anything else? I didn't even ask that.
So we got into Subarus for a little while.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of similar, right?
Subarus. I mean, back in the day, remember when the B16 Honda stuff like exploded?
Yeah.
You know,
you were doing Honda stuff?
Oh yeah, we were doing a ton of that stuff. We were doing the cylinder head for the guy that was racing for the Castrol team. What was his name? John Brown or something like that. I forget his name. Yeah, but super cool dude. And we got into that really, really heavy in the very beginning. I don't really know a whole lot of people that are like into that market anymore, like huge, except for I follow this one guy on Instagram. Was it 4-Piston Josh or something like that?
Yeah.
Man, if I was going to build one, I'd go to that dude. 100% I'd go to that dude. Yeah. He's got it dialed in. We did some other Honda. The K20 thing came and went.
You worked with K20s too?
Yeah, we did some K20 stuff. Not my favorite head. Did a lot of stuff for Sean at P2R. His stuff was nice. Super good guy to work with.
No domestic stuff?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay,
back in the day, yeah. I mean, small block, big block. That's what was going on back when I first started.
Yeah.
Small block, Chevrolet, big block, Ford, Chrysler, that kind of stuff. And it was all cast iron heads. And if you had a set of aluminum heads, holy shit, you were oh, man, these guys got aluminum heads kind of thing. Now it's not, that market kind of got, I guess you could say, hoard up. You know what I mean? Like you don't take a factory head and work with it anymore. You know what I mean? Unless you're like rebuilding a Camaro that needs that cylinder head with those numbers on it, numbers matching car kind of thing.
I see.
You call up Airflow Research, or you call up Brodix, you call up, if you're going to go drag racing, you call up MBE, any of those guys, and you buy something that already works. You got Frankenstein out there. Those guys are pumping out, killer shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Killer stuff. So there's no money in it for you to do that anymore. They've gotten it. Now they're making the money.
Right. So out of all of these platforms you've worked with, Porsche's your favorite, right? Let's take Porsche out of the equation because you're still actively working on that. Next to Porsche, below that, what would it be? Favorite-wise?
Domestic-wise, big block Chevrolet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why big block?
Just because they're fun. They make a shit ton of power, and they're big, and that's kind of where I grew up on.
Okay. Is there any advantages to working with that platform over anything else? Like, why is that your favorite, aside from you having, knowledge in that? But
I guess just because it's got a special place in my heart, honestly. Okay. That's kind of where I kind of learned, I learned from, this guy, Bruce Alfie, he showed me, he's like, this is how you port heads. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. Yeah. And I'm like, he showed me, actually, he works for me now.
Oh, really? That's
he
crazy.
Sure does.
Wow.
We work together now.
Okay.
I called him up. He was in retirement. I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm dying. I'm not doing shit. I go, you want to come to work? He goes, I'll be there in 20 minutes. So he takes care of the office, runs the office, and takes care of whatever you need done. He'll do it 100%.
Okay. You mentioned the K series is not your favorite, but why is it not your favorite?
Just because they had problems, they cracked and that kind of stuff. In the very beginning, people were trying to, port them too big, and we were probably one of them. And it's, I don't know. I kind of like the B series was more fun to work with.
But why was it more fun to work with?
Because I think there was more parts available. Foray was making the roller rocker system for it, and people were making really, really good power, with them. So again, that's what I kind of learned on very first for the Honda stuff.
So do you still get a lot of Honda stuff in now? Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Where are you promoting any like where are you at right now in life? Where is it just like you're chilling with the Porsche stuff? Like you got your clientele, you're good? Are you actively looking for more business? Like where are you at right now in terms of?
I mean, I'd be a fool saying I'm not actively looking for more business, but
yeah. Are you comfortable where you don't really care to have that stuff come in?
I'm cherry picking. Yeah, I'll cherry pick.
Okay.
And if I don't want to do it, I got 2 other guys that'll do it, and they're just as good as I am.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So that's a good place to be. You seem very, very comfortable. And you can tell when a lot of people are flustered or they, stressed out. But the 2 shops I've been to, 2 machine shops in Florida, like this one and the other one, it's just like you guys are both just chill. Like, just like, all right, it is what it is. And I'm not sure if it's a Florida thing or if it's because I'm from New York. And
you're from New York, yeah.
Yeah, so it's everything over there is just more, it could be that too. But everything in New York is just like, just stress. And you go into a shop and they're not always the cleanest shops in New York, but it's just like, damn, like, do I even want to leave my engine here? Like, I don't really know. You're looking around and stuff, and people are like they're busy, running around and stressed out, or I'll give you I can't talk right now. You know, it's never like chill like how it is here in Florida. I don't know if it's a Florida thing or New York thing, but you seem to have that kind of vibe where you just like, I pick and choose what I want to work with. I'm not really in a
and like I said, my team, they all work good together.
Yeah.
You know, we all have a good time. Sometimes we have too good of a time, but we all know when it's time to get the shit done. You know what I mean? So we have a clean shop. I absolutely pride myself on if we need a tool, and we're going to get it. If we need a special this, we're going to get it. If something's broken, we're going to fix it.
Yeah.
You know, like there's nothing we really can't do in here.
Everything's here.
Everything's here. And again, as I mentioned before, that was one of the biggest hurdles. Sending your stuff out. Sitting on somebody's floor waiting for, you know, a little bit of welding to be done. Something the size of your thumbnail. You know, you're waiting a week.
Yeah.
You know, let's buy a welder. Oh, nobody knows how to weld. Well, you're going to welding school. See ya. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay, so welding is done in-house, or now everything's done in-house? I don't even know if I saw the welding station.
No, it's in the corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in the
okay,
corner.
okay.
But we do all the coding in there as well. Are we good at it? Yeah, we're all right. We get by.
As far as welding?
Yeah, we get by.
Well, isn't that what you use primarily to fix a lot of, you know, the major stuff?
Yeah, well, the guy I used to send the stuff out to,
Yeah.
he's a welder.
Okay.
If you're sitting there doing it all day, it's an art.
Okay.
You know, welding, yeah. So to pick it up once every 2 weeks, it takes a little while to get really good at it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so.
But then you only have like one shot at that, like when it comes to welding, or can you kind of
grind it back out and start over?
Okay, on a cylinder head, and it doesn't affect any of the material or anything like that, or how?
I mean, we don't do. There's not a whole lot now that. So back in the day, there was a lot of welding. It's tapered off quite a bit.
Okay.
Most of our welding is welding the decks on Supras or the RBs. You know what I mean? Like welding them up so that, you know, there's no water, you know, going to the block. So
it's a lot different.
It's a lot different. Yeah, a lot different.
Now, as far as repairing cylinder heads, I don't know if I asked you before. I know with I didn't ask you this, but the Subarus have their things that's the engines that is pretty common. What are some of the common things on Subaru engines? You said you worked on them, right?
Got a few.
So with those, what are some of the common failures on those in terms of the cylinder heads?
I mean, mostly valve guides.
Valve guides. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think the Subaru heads it's a pretty good design.
Solid.
Really it's a good design.
Okay, so I think a lot of the issues. How close are they in design to the Porsche?
Well, they're water cooled.
Aside from that, but like, because I remember, I'm not a Porsche guy, okay, but the way that the cylinders are in the engine, how they're like, well, it's called a flat six, right?
Mm-hmm. So Porsche. Kind of the same thing,
right?
Except they have two cylinders on, you know, in one head,
so they're not separate. Well, I'm talking about the air cooled stuff more. So.
Yeah, so the air cooled stuff that's 6 separate heads.
Right.
And then on the you know, the Subaru takes 2, and then it's 4-cylinder.
So in terms of like the work that you have to do on it, is it
totally
easier?
different?
Okay,
yeah, totally different. Only because it's overhead cam.
Okay,
you know, you're dealing with cam followers and a lot more parts. You know?
And is it expensive for the Subaru stuff?
I think it's same thing with 2J.
So
RB.
Porsche is just always going to be obviously the most expensive stuff that you're doing in the shop.
I mean, just because of what we need to do to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because, again, it's like Burger King here. You got to have it your way. So these guys, everyone's building something different.
Right.
You know, everyone's building something. One size doesn't fit all with the Porsche stuff. A lot more time involved in that. And to build a set of heads from scratch, I don't think people realize how much time it takes. You know, and how much it costs. You know, they go, oh my God, you know, the heads are so expensive for those things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into them. You know, I mean, to build out a 2J here. I mean, if you bought all the parts, I mean, you're to do it like macked out with the Uni seats and all that kind of stuff.
Everything.
Yeah, you're gonna spend $11,000.
That's what I figured it'd be, around $10,000 to $11,000 just to get like a fully built CNC ported Uni Seat.
Everything done to it.
Everything.
Everything done to it. And see that head will work for you, work for him, work for her. Like, it works for a lot of people. So it's a little bit easier to build.
What do you mean it works for a lot of people? Like, you can use that on the streetcar too, no problem?
And I'm just saying, like, let's just say there's 4 race teams. They all kind of use the same format.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm like, everybody's got their thing.
Unless you're using a billet head or you have something, super special going on. But, basically it's close to the same format.
Right.
There's some variations, but we can't talk about those.
No, of course. So for anybody who will see this, right, and they're building their engine, whether it's an RB, 2J, Porsche, or anything, what is the most important piece of advice that you would give to them going into any machine shop? Because not everybody's in Florida. Not a lot of people are going to send their own data to you or any other shop, right? So what are some of the things that you for sure would tell somebody who's dropping their stuff off? Because I've heard horror stories from a lot of people.
Me too, man. Me too.
And it sucks.
It does suck.
Because as a customer, you don't really know until things happen, because you can go to the best shop in the country
and still get...
but I'm not saying in terms of the quality of work, it could be something else. Maybe they had a family situation and they're not communicating with you what's going on, and you're calling the shop, and there's so many different options, or not options, just variables as to what happens. But what are some things that you would advise?
That's a hard question.
That's 2 hard questions.
That's a hard question, man. I mean, I'll say don't be cheap. Nobody wants to work with you. Don't just pay the money, but make sure you get what you paid for. Do some research before you go. Find some happy customers. You know what I mean? Find some people that have been there. Get on the internet. You can find anything on there now.
Yeah.
And just kind of that's a hard question, man. It's tough.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening.
If somebody were walking here, I would the very first thing is like, just don't be cheap. Like, let me do my job.
What if they have a budget though? What if they're like, I kind of want to do this in X amount of...
Then we can talk about that. But if you're going racing, there's no time. There's no time for that. You know what I mean?
Not racing. Let's not say racing.
All right.
We're talking about the guy who's building his car.
I'm trying to ditch out on that whole subject.
Yeah. Yeah. So the drag racing stuff, I feel like those guys is usually, in most cases, or not most, but a lot of cases, a guy who has money and he has a team and he's just like, you guys take care of that stuff. You already got your people you work with already in place. I'm talking about the guy who's building his car in
the normal
garage.
guy going into a machine shop.
He's in his garage and he's like, oh, I just got, I'm building this in my garage or whatever. Like,
do some research on where you're going.
Okay.
Because most everybody's got like a track record. Any machine shop's got a track record.
That's tough though nowadays, because I feel like a lot of people can manipulate things, and
I don't know anything about manipulating it, but
well, I'm saying the stuff that you see on the internet, whether it's reviews or something, you'd be surprised, man. There's people who constantly screw people over and they still get business. Still. So it's kind of hard to gauge off of asking somebody.
Well, I don't know how to answer that question. Shit.
Well, I'm saying
that's a tough one.
It's probably because you do good work. It's hard. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, well, just
you have your method, and you're just like, all right, I'm a stand-up guy. This is what it is. I know how to deal with it.
Yeah. Don't let them. I mean, I don't try and, like I said, I don't try and sell anybody on
certain things they don't need.
Absolutely. I mean, I get calls all the time. Hey, I want to buy a new set of heads. So what are you doing with it? Oh, well, it's just for a street car. I'm like, send me your stuff. Send me your old heads, dude. You don't need to spend. You can spend $5, not $20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not that guy. So
okay.
I don't know. I just be cautious. I mean, just
there's a lot of people that
if you don't know the right questions to ask the machine shop, then you need to find somebody to go in there. Here's my answer. If you don't know what you're doing and you don't know the right questions and you don't know what you're looking at, go there with somebody that does. Bring a friend.
Okay.
That can ask the right questions.
Okay, that's solid. That's good.
That's the best
good.
I can do on that one.
Yeah, no, that's solid. That makes sense because a lot of people maybe with this stuff, they're not. If you're not in a machine shop building this stuff, you don't really know. And there's some people who are technical, but you may go somewhere sometimes and still be in a situation where these people may be informative and knowledgeable, but then the work doesn't speak the same way that their knowledge is. You know what I mean?
Find somebody who knows what the hell they're looking at.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Chances are, if you're building a car, like you're going to build a Toyota Supra.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got some friends that have done it before, or they're doing it with you.
Yeah.
Just spread yourself out enough to where your support system will allow you to walk in to a machine shop and ask the right questions.
Okay.
You know, and be able to get your stuff back and look at the stuff and go, that's perfect. That's not.
Yeah.
You know, that's the best way I can answer that.
That's solid. That's solid. I'm just trying to put it into because, you know, I hear stories all the time from different people and their situations, and I'm just like, damn, like you would think that the amount of times we've spoken about this on the podcast in terms of going to certain places and what to look out for, that you would stay away from certain areas. But I honestly feel sometimes it's hard to see the red flags in certain shops, especially nowadays, because you see stories all the time on social media, people bringing the car somewhere and, you know, the car's sitting there for a year, or parts are missing and all this other stuff that's happening. And these people
is it really, you know, or has the money been misspent?
How would you know?
Exactly.
How would you know?
I mean,
that's true too. Yeah.
You're on the friggin' hook either way, bro. I mean, it's like,
it's
if you rob Peter to pay Paul and he can't finish your car, he's going to be working on some other stuff.
But does it happen in the machine shop industry though? Does it happen in the machine shop industry though? Is that common?
I don't know. Doesn't happen here, but
yeah, because it's maybe with
I mean,
cars.
when I first, let's go back to when I first opened up and I didn't know how to run a business.
Yeah.
And that's when I learned never to do that again.
Okay. So you learned from that years ago.
Absolutely. I was lesson number one. Woo, we're doing great. No, you're not. No, you're not. You know, 30-day accounts. You still got to pay them. I don't do 30-day accounts. I don't buy my parts on credit.
Okay.
It just doesn't happen that way.
This is good info right here.
I don't do it anymore. I did it. No way. Find yourself in the hole.
Real quick too, probably.
Because, you know, you're kind of like, you feel like you're doing really good, but, you know, when Ferrea calls on their $20,000 with the parts that you used for the last month, and you only got $6,000 in the bank.
Oof.
Yeah, man.
Then what happens?
It happens. You know, then they cut you off. You know what I mean? Yeah, I made all those mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't operate that way.
So keep your money sitting. Don't think that you're
And don't give it to them all the way up front.
Well,
you
parts
know?
companies, of course, like if for
I'm talking about like go back to the machine shop guy.
Correct,
you know,
correct,
it's going to cost $1,500. Well, you know, how much do I need to give you up front to get started? Well, hey, I need some more money. Well, let me come in and see what's going on. Get your boy that knows what he's looking at. Go in there and look at the stuff.
So never pay up. That's another thing too I've heard before is never pay up front, like in full for your project, because sometimes they may lose motivation. It's like, all right, it's already paid for. Like I'll get to it when I get to it.
I mean, because of where I'm at and how long I've been doing this and the clients that I've surrounded myself with, guys like yourself, like I don't worry about the shit. Like you tell me to build ahead, I'll build ahead. When it's done, come pay me, pick it up. You know, I don't have to chase money anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel sad for the guys that still do. You know, I really do. Like the Porsche guys and the Supra guys and the RB guys that I deal with right now, or any of the guys I deal with. I mean, can I give you some money up front? No, honestly, because my bank account's like an alligator pit. It'll eat your deposit up in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just work and get the stuff done. And if there's parts to be bought, yeah. You know, that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, I don't have to do it anymore.
Okay, that's smart. They didn't know that in terms of like running a shop. That's a different perspective.
Well,
not only the customer
I get
side,
frowned on because it's bad for cash flow. I don't give a shit. That's the way I do it.
Okay. That's good to know. Good to know. All right. So what's next for you, man? What are you planning on doing in the next year or two? Like, what's the plan?
I'm going racing.
You going racing yourself?
Yeah, I actually just went and got my SCCA permit.
Okay.
First time being on a track. First time being on pavement. Racing, no. I do the Nora 500 and Nora 1000 with one of my clients, Raw Sport Racing, out in Oregon. Super nice guy. We're super good friends, and he takes me out there. It's so much fun. You know, we do 1,000 miles, 1,300 miles over 6 days in the desert. Got a lot of miles in the desert, but I wanted to go. You know, we bought this Podium 1 thing, and you know,
I see that.
we're always in that thing and having a good time. And I thought, you know what? So I went and got my permit. One of my clients, you know, rented me a car.
Damn.
And went down there and just had a blast at Sebring, or went over to Sebring.
Yeah.
Rather. And I don't know. I sucked, but I'm gonna get better. I mean, what else is there? It's the first time, you know what I mean? I was like, did good, right? He goes, you know, all right, you're doing all right.
But you're just enjoying yourself right now. And
I just want to have fun.
Yeah. Okay. And then as far as business, anything's going to change in terms of what you're going to be working on? Anything new with the Porsches that you plan on implementing?
I mean, with the Porsches, I think we're probably going to do some new ports.
Okay.
Coming up, I think we're going to do them a little bit differently rather than do them on the flow bench originally, and you know, start on a flow bench. I think we're going to go ahead and try the CFD and the computer generated, just to try it out and see. Been talking to a few guys that actually do that kind of work, and he said, man, he goes, nobody does that stuff by hand anymore. He goes, you think the guys at GM or their guy got hand grinders? He goes,
yeah,
no. So we might try that. But right now we're busy till the end of next year. So I think I'm already like set for another year and a half.
Damn. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. So, obviously if you guys were on the shop tour earlier, we dropped off my cylinder head, and, we're going to be working with Bill to get the RB Supra back on the road. Car's been down for about 7-8 months now.
Oh, it's going in a Supra?
You don't even know what it's in. Oh my gosh. I love that though.
I didn't even know what the hell a podcast was. Right out loud,
I actually love the fact that you don't know much about what's going on. It just makes me feel like, all right, I'm going to get a full customer experience as if not. You don't even know who I am.
I'm a clean slate. I'm waiting for people to call in and shit. Like, oh, they're going to call in.
He's waiting for call-ins. There's no call-in.
All right, my bad.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool to do. Actually, you might have to figure that out. I have to figure that out. I don't know. So yes, it's going into Supra, Mark V Supra, not a Mark IV. And it's been in there for, I don't know. I think I went to SEMA with it. It went from October to December. That's when it was like officially running. So it's been down for 7-8 months. I haven't driven it. I've got other projects I'm working on now. And I kind of miss it now. I needed a break from that car because I've been just working on it for a year and a half straight. My first ever big car project, which I don't even think I asked you if you've had any car projects where you've spent hours on, or you just were always in the machine shop.
Always in the machine shop.
So you haven't like had any personal projects or anything like that you've.
Oh yeah, I got a '64 International Scout. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what the hell it is, dude. That's some old shit.
What is it?
It's an International Harvester. It's just, they don't make them anymore, but it's 1964, and we got it, and it was a cream puff, and we kind of like put a roll bar in it, and I don't know. We may take it out to the Baja. What it looks like? It looks like a '68 Bronco.
Really?
A little bit wider, a little bit like fatter, I guess you could call it. Yeah. But that same style. That's what it is.
What engine is in it?
Right now, it's got a 383 Chevrolet in it.
383.
So it's a 350 stroke to a 383.
Okay. So one thing with the domestic stuff, which I still have not caught on to because I'm like only import, is the conversions. And because that's
it's just bore size and stroke. That's
but I'm looking at liters.
Yeah, that's not liters, man.
I'm like, yeah, what does that convert to? I don't know what the conversion is. I'm like,
that's cubic inch back then, man.
No, a cubic inch, but it's like I'm just like, wait, what is that? Like, yeah. I haven't really
I think 350 is, I think it's 5.7 or 6. I don't really know the liters yet.
Okay,
I think it's probably got 5.7 or something like that.
All right, I'm used to like 3.0, 2.0, 1.6. Those kind of numbers.
I know. I got it.
So this thing is making like it's gonna make big power. It
makes about 550.
Do you even need to make anything over that though?
No, man. It's got a 486 gear in the back. You know what I mean? It's just
so it's peppy.
Yeah, it's peppy.
Damn. And this is not for road racing, or this is just for...
No. It's kind of like a parking lot queen right now,
Okay.
but we're getting the suspension redone. Buddy of mine up in Orlando.
I know that's probably expensive, huh?
Advanced cylinder heads, Jimmy Spinelli. He's doing all the work on it right now and rewiring it and all that kind of stuff because I managed to fuck it up over the whole over the past 15 years. So he's like, "Let me straighten that out for you." I said, "All right, good."
So and you did the cylinder head work on that, I'm assuming, or not?
Well, I bought a set of AFRs because I'm smart.
Ah,
But then I tuned them up from there.
Okay.
Yeah, some airflow research heads. You can't go wrong with those.
Was there any...
Well, Frankenstein wasn't even around back then, but
Okay.
I probably would have looked that way too.
You said what year is this?
1964.
64. Okay, I gotta look that up. I don't even know much about that at all, but it seems pretty interesting.
64 Scout.
Scout. Like spell it.
That's like a scout. Like you go out and scout out things, you know.
Oh, okay, Scout. Okay, Scout.
Like
Just
a
wanna
boy,
make sure.
like a Boy Scout.
64 Scout. Okay, and no import stuff. No. Do you like imports?
I do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Why don't we get you like a Supra or something, man? Like a Mark IV or something.
I don't want to be getting in and out of that thing, man. I like my F-350.
Oh, you're a truck guy, you said.
I'm a truck guy, yeah.
Okay. Do you work on? Have you done any work with cylinder heads on any of that stuff or no?
I mean, we've done some 6-liter diesel stuff, but
Okay.
mine's just stock with a little tune in it and 20 grand with a stereo in it, and we're good.
Oh, so you're a real truck guy. You like South Florida truck guy.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, that's cool. We still got to get you in a Supra though, man. I feel like you should.
I wouldn't mind driving one. Let me know when yours is done.
No, you don't want to drive mine. It's not the same.
What the hell?
It's a Mark V.
What does that mean?
Well, it's got a.
Oh shit! That means I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. All right.
That's a good one.
Is that the one with the BMW in it?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So I took the motor and put the RB in there, but it doesn't even feel the same. Like it's a completely different car.
Gotcha.
But you never driven a Mark IV? Never. Nah, somebody got to get you in a Supra, man.
I know, man.
Do you understand?
I got to call up White Rice and see if Dewey will let me drive his.
This doesn't make any sense. Hold on.
What?
No. You've been involved with the world's fastest Supra and built some of the best and fastest cylinder heads, whatever. And you have never been in a Mark IV Supra.
Nah, nobody even offered. It's messed up, ain't it?
Nah, I'm about to talk to Nero. I have to talk to Nero. That's crazy. What? Okay. What about a Porsche? Okay, so that makes sense. Porsche, cool. But like a 2J? Nah, seriously. I'm a little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, my Porsche experience is not huge. Pretty
But
much
you've been in
next to
one. You've
nothing.
been in one, right?
I've been in one. I didn't say I drove one.
I'm not disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in Nero. I'm gonna talk to Nero about this. This is crazy.
I mean, I rode for 1,300 miles navigating in one. Had a great time, yeah.
Now Nero's in trouble. We got to get you in. You know what?
My clients keep telling me, hey, come out and drive my Porsche, come out and drive my Porsche. So,
Yeah, man.
me and my girlfriend, we're going to go out to Oregon and spend a week. And I got a client out there. He's like, come on out. He goes, I'll throw you in a raw sport. He goes, I'll throw you in a nice Porsche. He goes, and I'll give you a road map of where you need to go through Oregon and all the Airbnbs. So we're just going to make a little trip out of that. And
Wait, so what's the fastest car you've been in?
I would say a GTR.
Oh,
I
okay.
would say GTR.
Wait, R30, like a new one?
I would say,
R35?
yeah. So is my daughter's friend Alex. Yeah, she took us for a quick ride.
How much is that making, power-wise?
I don't even know, but it was fast as fuck.
You were full bolt-on? It's probably makes 700, probably like 700. That's still pretty fast in that car. All-wheel drive?
It was working, man. I'm here to tell you, it was working.
Yeah, but now you got to be in like I would say a 1,200 horsepower. Nah, that's kind of scary. Maybe 1,000 horsepower Supra.
I might give it a whirl.
Yeah,
talk to Nero.
I'm gonna talk to Nero. We gotta,
shit.
Yeah, we got to make this happen.
Talk some shit about Nero.
He's got like a lot of Supras in the shop right now, but we have to get you in the Supra, man. That's crazy.
I know.
Maybe when my car's done, we'll pull up. Are you like big into like getting into cars?
What do you mean getting into them?
like a passenger?
Oh, I don't care.
Because I hate.
I'll
I'm
run
not a
with you.
passenger.
I don't care.
Okay. Nah, man. This is cool. I like the fact that you haven't been
Do
because
1,300 miles in the passenger seat. You learn how to just
1,300.
Huh? Yeah.
I mean, I drove. I moved from New York to here. I drove in a little Scion.
just running on the
XB.
side of cliffs and.
Oh, not like that. I was just driving. I was 95 straight.
Yeah, no, that's.
we were not making turns off the mountains in the Scion XB coming down.
It's yeah. You
I'm sure it's fun, but it's probably a little sketchy.
it's sketchy.
Super, right?
But the guy I'm driving with, he knows how to drive.
Oh, you're not driving.
No, I was navigating.
So
I'm the guy who's reading off all the
you know how to do
maneuvers. Yeah. Well, I learned how to do it.
I did a podcast with yo, I don't know what's going on with me. So I'm 35 years old, and I just can't remember stuff anymore. It's crazy. It is crazy, Bill. It's wild. It is wild, Bill. What is Richard Holdner? You know who that is?
No.
Okay, Richard Holdner. I did a podcast with him, and he was giving me a story about how he was a driver and he had a guy reading off. The guy was like smoking a cigarette at the same time or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've always found it interesting. Why is that
He's over there cracking up?
Oh yeah. I always found it interesting because like how you have to study the turns and when things are coming up. That's you. You're the guy who's like,
Yeah.
So not related to cylinder heads, but talk me through the process of that because I don't understand it.
It's fun, man.
But like, how does that work?
So when you get to this race, it's called the Nero 500. They say it's the happiest race on earth. You're not really racing for any money. It's just a bunch of really good people, and you all get together and you know they race. They've got an ATV class. They've got a motorcycle class.
Okay.
They've got like 5 or 6 different classes, all the way up to like a trophy truck. You know, so it's not like a little race. There's probably 400 cars that enter in it.
Yeah.
But everybody helps everybody. You know what I mean? So the guy that I went out there with, Jeff Gamroth, he says, well, we were at a car show in Miami. He goes, you want to come out to Nora? I said, what's Nora? He's like, well, we go out to the Baja. He goes,
Yeah.
Billy, it's the funnest thing I've ever done in my life. Because I've done a lot of stuff, a lot of racing. This is what I love doing. And I go, sure. He goes, well, you can navigate. I go, man. I got scared. I'm like, because I've seen the videos, you know what I mean? Oh, right over crest and all that. I'm like, I've never done that before. He goes, and then there was a woman there, and she goes, I did it last year with him, and now I got to do it. And I was like, I'll do it. I go, she can do it, I'll do it.
Okay.
And I get out there, and he just said, he goes, Billy, because I never pick the same person. He goes, because it's more of a thrill. I mean, in all honesty, he probably doesn't even need the navigation because he's that good of a driver. But
Yeah.
Definitely, there is points where you definitely need it. Because I got in trouble a few times, but went out there and he said, he goes, it's more of a thrill for me to have a greenhorn in the seat and show them how it's done than to have somebody that knows exactly what they're doing. So it was a really good experience for me.
Okay.
I sucked on the first day. I was good on the second day. I was even better on the third. And by the 6th day, he goes, Billy, you're the best navigator I've ever had. I go, damn, that's pretty good. But it's nerve wracking. Because if you miss something, I mean, you could die.
That's what I'm saying.
Literally,
like,
you could die.
There's
you go
a
off
lot
a cliff. You know what I mean? Like if you miss a turn, yeah. So it's nerve wracking. So it was really cool to retrain my brain.
Yeah.
To freaking work at something. You know what I mean? Like you got to stay focused the whole time. And as soon as you lose focus, you're missing shit. And he'll look over at me and go, "This is how people die out here, Billy, backing up on the track because you missed that turn." Yeah. So it was a real eye opener. It was a lot of fun, and I just kind of fell in love with that. But
yeah.
Being on the pavement, I had never done it before until like 3 weeks ago.
So, but in a situation where maybe you mess up, doesn't the driver have the ability to just do what he wants to do?
You don't want to turn around on the track, so you have to find like an alternate route to get back on the track. You don't want to back up on the track. You don't want to turn around on the track, and you don't want to miss something because out there it's just really weird. So you're going through all kinds of terrain. You could be going through sand dunes, and then you're in a forest, and then you're into a place that looks like the moon, and then you're going down, a pipeline that's got, rocks this, for like 16 miles, they're this big. And then you come around a mountain, and you look down, and there's like an oasis down there. It's a little town. There's palm trees and shit because there's a river that runs through that little area.
Yeah.
Everybody's there. And it's just amazing. Like literally it's amazing.
You know what's crazy? I just had a moment where I just realized that we weren't talking about the same thing.
What were you talking about?
Wait, so you said you're a navigator?
Navigator, yeah.
Okay, what is a navigator?
He tells the driver where to go. So in this race, you have a GPS, and you have a module that Nora puts in your car,
Okay.
and the module shows you the exact mileage. So, and then the book has the maneuvers in it, and you have to learn all the maneuvers so you can call them out. And you got to call out right 45, because it'll show you a little arrow. I wish I would have brought one of the books, or I had one
So
here.
maybe we are talking about. I'm thinking
Navigator.
about
Navigator tells you see the rally guys.
That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so it is the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so, but that's my point. Like a lot of in the rally stuff, like can't the driver just do if a lot of stuff is like instinct too. Like if you feel like something's not right based off what the navigator's telling you, like you're gonna probably make a different move, no? Or how like you're literally dependent on the navigator to.
I mean, like so you'll see in the book that it's got an area that shows a little picture of a bunch of bumps, and it's got a big red X through it, that kind of thing.
So this is already figured out.
Yeah, the track is already figured out. Just like
Gotcha.
Just like with the rally guys, they know
Okay.
where the navigator knows where they're going, and they know what's over around the next bend. They know how sharp the bend is,
Yeah.
how long the bend is, when the bend's coming up. They know where the jumps are. The driver, he don't know shit. He's
That's
literally.
crazy.
Jeff said to me, he goes, Billy, you got to paint me a picture of the track. Paint me a picture where we're going. He goes, otherwise I don't know where we're going.
Okay, so yeah, you could definitely ride passenger in a 1,200 horsepower Supra.
Yeah, I'll be
You
all right.
could- if you get in the car with somebody you don't
I'll
even
be
know.
all right. Yeah.
I think you'll be okay. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I probably won't be the one driving. In my car, of course, I'll be driving, but in the Supra, the Mark IV Supra, I feel like you should drive one, man. I think you'd have a great time.
I'll give it a try.
The GTR 700 horsepower, cool, but I think a Supra would be really cool. I think.
I look forward to it.
I don't know. All right. Well, this has been great. We good, Jeremy? You solid? Cool. Well, I appreciate your time so much, Bill. It was
a lot
been
of
great,
fun, man.
Yeah, honestly,
Absolutely.
it was kind of stressful for me
It was a lot of
because,
fun.
like I said, I haven't done this in a while. But we're gonna start getting things going again.
How do you think I felt? I've never done this before.
No, I know.
Actually,
but,
I was pretty relaxed with it.
no, I was not to be nervous about it. It's not like
Cool.
I
It was fun.
didn't a background check or anything, and she was gonna ask you any type of crazy questions. Just wanted to get some knowledge in terms of what you do here and
Cool.
your years of experience in it, because people say stories about your involvement in the industry, but you don't really know what it's like until you talk to the person. So it's pretty cool to hear your background, your passion
you.
for what
Appreciate
you do. And I definitely learned a lot about you, especially just now, with the fact that you haven't been in the Supra, which is pretty cool. So we'll make that happen. Once the car is done, probably bring it back, and maybe on stream we'll get you
All right.
in the car as a passenger. So if there's anybody that's looking to work with you and they want to bring the cylinder heads here to you, whether it's a Porsche, 2JZ, RB, Subaru, B16, Honda, K-Series, any of those platforms or whatever it is, how do they get in contact with you?
I just call the number. It's on the website. You can go to
Okay.
extremecylinderheads.com. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're not on Twitter, are we? No.
I'm not on Twitter
I
either.
don't even know how to even work
Yeah, I'm
that,
not even
but
on
I don't even
Twitter
really know what
either.
it is. But yeah, just Extreme Cylinder Heads on Instagram. Shoot me a DM, and we can get it together.
Cool. Awesome. Well, like I said, I appreciate your time, Bill.
I appreciate
Thank you
you
so
giving
much.
me the opportunity. It was fun.
Nah, it was cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
We'll be back for some more content, of course. Once the cylinder head's done, we'll come
Okay.
back, pick it up, and then we'll go over what you did.
Bringing this guy back.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. He's having a great time, as you can
Yeah.
tell. He's cracking up.
Yeah, they're passed out.
Sleep. All right.
Cool.
Well,
All right.
for those who are listening and watching, which if you're watching right now, you're probably not listening on audio, right? Because there's no audio, right? Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe also. Make sure you head over to streetalpha.co to copy merch as well. And we will catch you on the next one. Peace.